God and Jesus sleep? Whether you realize it or not, that is a wonderful question for at least two reasons. Now I'm going to make you wait for the two reasons for a couple of minutes. But we will get to those two reasons in just a second. But before we do, let's go to the life of Jesus Christ. When Jesus was on earth, the Bible teaches us that He did sleep, didn't He? Luke records one such incident in Luke the 8th chapter. Notice, now it came to pass on a certain day that He entered into a ship with His disciples and said, "Let us go over unto the other side of the lake." Now that's the lake Gennesaret. It's also referred to as the Sea of Tiberias, better known to us as the Sea of Galilee. Now notice, and they launched forth, but as they sailed, He fell asleep. So yes, it is possible for Jesus to sleep. Now when we say that, what we mean by that is this: as a man, Jesus slept. When Jesus was on earth, He was what some refer to as a God-man. He was God incarnate. He was God in the flesh. He was all God, and yet He was all man. He was all man, and yet He was all God. A concept that is extremely difficult for mankind to understand. But while on earth, He experienced the very same kind of things that you and I experience as human beings. He thirsted. He got hungry. He grew weary. He grew tired. And eventually, He had to sleep. In fact, I bet He slept almost every night, just about the way you and I do. But God, now we're talking only God. God is not a man. God is deity. And deity does not possess the limitations that you and I have as human beings. God doesn't have to drink, and God doesn't have to eat. God doesn't have to bathe a physical body. God is not a being who gets sick. He is not one who contracts diseases. He never grows tired. He never grows weary. Therefore, guess what? He never, ever has to sleep. And the Bible confirms that in Psalm 121, verse 4. "Behold, He that keepeth Israel shall not slumber nor sleep." Now, a moment ago I told you that the question was good for two reasons, didn't I? Let's talk about the two reasons. Number one, this question causes us to stop for a moment and focus on the nature of the Almighty God. And that's important. You see, as human beings, we have a tendency to bring God down to our level rather than think about Him in His exalted, high, lofty position. Far too many times we think that God acts the way we act. We think that He thinks the way we think. And we believe that He feels exactly the way we feel, and He does not. My friends, the Bible declares God is not a man. That's a powerful statement, isn't it? Made in Numbers 23, verse 19. God is not a man. You see, it is imperative that every one of us stops from time to time, studies about God, and then elevates our mind to where He is rather than trying to bring God down to where we are. We need to keep God in His place of deity, don't we? And this question causes us to stop and do that. But there's another good reason for this question, and it's this. It ensures me that God is always aware of every situation, every group, and every environment I'm in, regardless. You see, God is never what? God is never asleep on His post. God is always awake. God is always alert. God is always watching everything that you and I do. Think about this, folks. We can sleep because God is awake. Isn't that a wonderful thought? The psalmist made this statement in Psalm 3, verse 5. I lay me down and slept. I awake. Why? For the Lord sustained me. What a wonderful thought. I have nothing to fear. I can sleep because I have a watchman who is always on post and always watching everything that I do. And I can rest assured of that.